We could be in for a seismic week in British politics, representing one of the biggest challenges that we've ever seen to the two-party system in the UK. So on Thursday, millions of voters go to the polls in local elections, both to elect councillors and a handful of regional mayors. And it looks like Nigel Farage's Reform UK could make major gains. The local seats which are coming up this week were last contested back in 2021 during Boris Johnson's post-COVID vaccine popularity. And this was seen at the time as the absolute peak of 21st century Tory success. So much so that the morning after, Keir Starmer, who was then the opposition leader, almost quit as Labour leader. Since that high watermark moment, the Conservatives have crashed out of power, cratering in 2024 to their worst performance in their entire 200-year history. Now, their current leader, Kemi Badenoch, is fighting to avoid electoral annihilation. Badenoch is insistent that no electoral pact is on the cards with Nigel Farage's Reform Party, but there are major Tory voices gunning for a deal with his camp. Ben Houchen, for instance, the Tees Valley mayor, who happens to be the most senior elected Tory left in Britain, has said that if the Conservatives and Reform between them gets the number where they could dislodge Labour, they should make a deal. A Reform spokesperson has said that the party has no intention of forming coalitions or pacts with the Tories. Meanwhile, Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, has said that Tory voters would be put off by Farage's foreign policy views and that Reform voters would be put off by the Tory record. The Conservative Party is the oldest in the world, so it feels slightly melodramatic to start writing its political obituary already. And there was a time after the 1997 election when they were thrashed by Tony Blair that it felt like the Tories would never win another election. That was, of course, premature and ultimately wrong. There was a succession of prime ministers who held power for 14 years. But this time, the reality that the party faces feels bleaker and even more treacherous. Kemi Badenoch's party only has 121 seats in Parliament. That's their lowest ever number. And even though she faces an unpopular incumbent government, her campaign message has been largely squeezed out, both by the left and by charismatic voices on her right. Local elections are only ever so useful for predicting the next election. The 2021 vote suggested that we'd be in for a decade of Boris Johnson, and look how that turned out. But if Reform can translate its current strong polling into votes on Thursday, well, this could be a historic moment in British politics. And for everything you need to know about this story as it develops, head to cityam.com.